Hey everyone, it's Miranda. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hey, for the first time, why don't you subscribe? Become the newest member of the Slash Squad. Here I review products you won't feel guilty buying and do looks you can actually recreate at home. Now, if you're tuned in to the latest drugstore beauty news, then judging by my look, you might be able to guess that in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the new limited edition Rebel Rose collection from Wet n Wild. Like I said, this is brand new, it's here for a limited time, and it's an edgy take on the rose trend in beauty. I was really excited when this collection showed up across my desk. I am all about edgy makeup. I love the grungy look. I used to be an emo kid back in the day. So I really wanted to love this collection. Did it end up turning out that way? Just keep watching. Alright, so the Rebel Rose collection is pretty extensive. We do have both makeup and skincare products in this collection, but in this video today, I'm just going to be focusing on the makeup. As far as makeup goes, we do have 3 eyeshadow quads, a transforming cream blush, a transforming lip tint, and 4 limited edition shades of their liquid catsuit liquid lipstick. There are also 2 makeup brushes in this collection that are really cute. They are kind of like a gothic rose style. We have kind of a face brush that is pretty good for blush. And then we have this eye brush. I am not a fan of this brush actually. It is so gosh darn cute, but the bristles just don't come out far enough from like the little petal detailing. So when you actually use it on your eye, the plastic design like pokes you. So this brush is kind of useless to me actually. All right, let's start out on a high note. This cream blush is very intimidating the first time you look at it, at least I was. It literally looks like black jelly with like gold shimmer flakes in it. And I was like, how is this gonna translate onto my cheeks? Until I realized it's a transforming blush. So this blush is a cream blush, although it has more of like, I don't know, a slippy texture rather than a cream in my opinion, maybe even almost like a thin gel consistency. But as it hits your skin, it actually reacts and turns into a warm berry color. I was very surprised with the difference of what this looks like in the pan and what actually ended up on my face. And it was incredibly pigmented. I really liked the tint aspect to it. It wasn't completely opaque. It did have a little bit of translucency to it. So it looked like a cheek tint that was actually pretty strong and buildable. I would suggest starting in very thin layers because this does get pretty pigmented and you want to get a feel for how it's reacting with your skin and how deep it's actually going to get. But it gives this really nice cheek stain appearance. It still lets your natural texture come through. So I really like it. It does give a little bit more of a natural vibe. And you know, I really thought this was going to be a super gimmicky product that I wasn't going to like, but turned out it's nice. Skin reactive makeup was really big a few years ago and then we kind of saw it fall off the bandwagon. So I'm wondering if Wet n Wild's trying to bring this trend back because we have another transforming product, which is actually a lip tint. So this lip tint is also really weird when you first look at it. It's kind of clear with this greenish, grayish tint to it, but as you apply it to your lips, it will react to your skin and turn into, again, a warm berry color. With this, I was actually surprised with how bright it turned out. I thought it was just gonna be a very light wash of color, but at least for me personally, because it could look different on your skin depending on how it reacts, yeah, it turned out really pigmented. So buying these transforming products is a little bit of a risk because how they show up on your skin might be different from the next person who's reviewing it, but it's kind of like a little surprise and the effect is actually pretty. All right, so let's talk about these eyeshadows because these quads were what I was personally most excited for. They are gorgeous. They have roses embossed in every pan and the shade selection is actually pretty cool. Like I said, it's very grungy and edgy, but there is like an underlying theme of rosiness to them. So let's look at each quad one by one. First, we have Secret Garden Rendezvous, which is kind of the most earthy of all of them. I would say it's probably the most neutral. We do have these 2 neutrals up at the top, which are the shimmer shades, and then 2 mattes down at the bottom where we have a medium rosy shade and a dark purple. I do like the fact that every palette does include 2 either shimmer or satin shades and then 2 mattes because that does give enough of a balance to create a full look. But the quality of the mattes are very hit or miss, and we'll get into that in just a second. Let's look at the next quad. This is House of Thorns, which was just drop dead gorgeous. So this one has this standout green as kind of the highlight of the palette, and then we have a neutral kind of gold, a warm rose, and this deep black. And then lastly, we have Bed of Roses, which is actually the quad that I'm wearing on my eyes right now, and this is definitely more of a rosy toned shadow palette. We've got a light and medium shimmery pink, and then a matte deep rosy, almost burgundy shade, and then a very, very dark plum. So as I said, when it came to the mattes in this palette, they were very, very hit or miss. The texture was just really stiff, and that's not something that I've come to expect from Wet n Wild, because when you look at their color icon palettes, either the 3-pan ones or the 6-pan ones, and I think now they even have 10 pans, those mattes are always so buttery and smooth and easy to apply, and these were just kind of a headache. And then as far as the satin or shimmer shades, they came out pretty nicely, but a lot of them didn't translate on the skin like they looked in the pan at all. One example would be this shade right here in Bed of Roses, where it looks like a silvery pink that you might be able to use as like a highlight shade, but then you go ahead and swatch it and it turns out to be kind of this medium pink. Like, that doesn't look the same at all whatsoever. The same thing happened, unfortunately, with this green. I was so excited to use this beautiful emerald green in House of Thorns, but you go ahead and swatch it, and it turns out to be more of a black gray with green shimmer. And it just does not have that same emerald glimmering effect that it does in the pan. Now back to these mattes, like I said, they're very stiff, which makes it pretty hard to pick up product with a brush. Even with my fingers, it was kind of hard to get a smooth swatch. So I'm just gonna go into this deep purple for you, and you can kind of see it's just lackluster. They don't apply very dark to begin with, but they're also not very buildable. The issue that I kept coming across when doing my makeup today, and I'll kind of show you my process, I would lay down product and really pack it on, and then when I started to blend out, these matte shades would sheer out very easily. So as I was blending to get a diffused look, I ended up blending away the shadows, and then I'd have to pack more on and then try to blend that out, and it just ended up in general looking a lot softer than I wanted the look to be. And that also posed a problem when trying to work the shades together. So when I was using the dark burgundy as a transition in today's look, and then the plum in my crease, I was trying to combine them and blend them together for a gradient, and it just wasn't meshing. They were both shearing out, and I would add one color, the other shade would kind of disappear, and I'd add that color back in and try to deepen it up, and then the other shade would disappear. And then in the end, everything just kind of looked like a very sheer, muddy, smoky shade. I think in the end, this look is fine. Like, it doesn't necessarily look bad, but it's absolutely not the look that I was going for, because these shadows just did not do what I wanted them to do. And I was sitting here and working at them and trying to blend them and trying to pack them on, and they just didn't want to stay pigmented, and they did not want to work together. So I was really disappointed in these shadow quads. The same problems came up in each palette that I was using when I was trying to put together looks. I may have the unpopular opinion, but I don't know, these formulas just are not the same as your typical Wet n Wild formula at all. Finally, we do have the liquid lipsticks in this collection, which are definitely a big win. They are the liquid catsuit formula, which are really, really awesome. A lot of color just in one swipe, and they're long lasting, just like the non-limited edition shades. But I'll go ahead and swatch these. So we have 2 matte shades and 2 high shine shades. Today I am wearing the shade Deviant Damsel, which I think is the most unique to this collection, where you might not necessarily find this in a lot of other drugstore liquid lipstick collections. Very, very deep purple. It does translate as black sometimes in photos, but I'm all about it. I actually wore it out the other night because I went to this club night called Emo Night, where they just play early 2000s emo music, which was awesome. But yeah, I'm very, very into this color. But of course, with any bold and dark liquid lipstick, it does tend to fade on on the most wet part of your inner lips. So you do kind of end up with a little bit of that separation that can look a little weird. But for the most part, this actually stayed on all night, and I was, you know, sipping on drinks and whatnot. So I'm not gonna swatch that because that's already on my lips. But next I'm gonna show you Kiss of Death, which is this really, really pretty dark red, almost burgundy. And that is gorgeous. I mean, that is normally something that I would really wear a lot during fall. And as for the High Shine lipstick formula, this is more of like a gloss feeling lipstick, but you are going to get a lot of color. So this is in the shade Petal Poison, and it's definitely more of a mauve-y petal shade. And then we have Bud Romance, which is almost like a dusty lavender. I really like this one. I wish that this one was in the matte formula, because obviously the matte formula lasts longer than the glossy formula, since the glossy one isn't transfer proof. But yeah, this shade is gorgeous, and at least you do get a lot of color payoff in the glossy formula. So all in all, the makeup in the Wet n Wild Rebel Rose collection was very, very hit or miss. Honestly, I feel like the only products that are really worth picking up are the Liquid Catsuit limited edition shades, but the rest, I mean, the Transforming Lip Balm and Blush are fun, but are they something that you're going to be working into your routine regularly? You know, it's not necessarily a staple product in my opinion. And then the eyeshadows, as you saw, were just a big disappointment for me. Brushes, very cute, but I would definitely only suggest the face one, which is actually really nice for dabbing on the blush or any other kind of cream blush, because it does have these really soft synthetic bristles and it's a thick brush. So it does really well with that kind of formula. The eye brush, the design just wasn't right. All right, everyone, if you like these kind of full collection reviews, hit the thumbs up button and don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. If you haven't already, please hit the bell icon so you know every time a new video goes live, and engage with this video in any way to make sure that my face stays on your subscription page. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!